going to make sure we're live. Yeah, okay, we're live. Hello, everybody, and we are live. No, I'm sorry, Rick. I love you, Rick. You're a legend, and I'll see you next week, Rick. The classic Rick line of "We are live," but we're here for Tier 1, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a enthralling race here tonight. The British Grand Prix, Silverstone, after what was an incredible fight last week between Hoop and Perondi. We're here now for the British Grand Prix, and I'm not here alone, thank goodness, because God, we wouldn't hear me alone. I'm here with an absolute legend. He's commentated over me in the past, and sounds like he didn't have a great race about 30 minutes ago, but we're not going to talk about that. We're here for Tier 1, and join me is the legend, Rizzi. Welcome.
Sheesh, I'm being overhyped here. But yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, Tier
It's
1.
Tier 1!
Yeah, this is going to be
Gotta get
amazing to
hyped.
watch. Yeah, of course, the hype around Tier 1's massive, and I'm just here excited. I think this is going to be the first actual race that I'm watching, so if I don't know who's supposed to be at the lead, just excuse me for that. But it should be a very, very enthralling race. First, it's qualifying.
Yes, first is qualifying, and on board now with BRL Perondi, who of course is the championship leader by 60 points over Hoopolicious. And if you do have the points on you, please do tell us what's going on.
I am pulling those up right now.
But we'll stick here with Perondi, of course, championship leader by 60 points, and looking to maybe get win number 7 for this season here in Tier 1.
Oh wow. Yeah, so I just pulled up the standings, and you are correct.
Yep.
Perondi is in the lead with basically a win to every race that he's participated in except for 2. Hoop's right behind him in second. Oh, actually, no. Perondi has 188 points. Hoop has 128, and right behind him is BRL BrunoWill, 93. 10 points behind is Chandler Seda, 83. FRA Formula doing very well for himself as well, 73 points. B-Dunk has 66. FinFan coming in 7th with 44. RS Elan, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if that didn't pronounce it right. With 42. Deer Hunter goes into P9 with 21 points. Axe has 16. By Juggernaut in 11 with 12 points. Hey Katra in P12 with 9 points. Saxman has 7 points, so does Taylor. Eris Fern, who just joined us about 2 races ago, P15 with 6 points, and tied with him is Mean Fern with also 6 points. And the bottom of the field is ERS Hamdoon with 4. ERS Hamdoon with 5. Edu with 4. G4 Sack with 4. And Whammon with no points.
And Whammon not here tonight, as is Deer Hunter's not here either. So there we go. Perondi coming up to the end of his lap time now with 14:32 left on the clock here for Tier 1, as we'll watch the end of this. No!
Ooh.
Not... That's you could get away with going a little bit wider in a previous game at this track, but you can't anymore. Thank goodness the Codemasters have fixed that one, and that would that probably was a little bit of a lesser lap for Perondi at the moment. Pole lap last season was a 23.9 by a certain New Zealand driver who's not with us this season. And Chandler now looking to see where he can go here in the Renault. Crosses the line now, and it's 24.141, and that is a pretty good banker lap to start things off here in qualifying. As, excuse the scrolling, as I'm trying to find our next driver to come across the line now. It is Edu in the Red Bull. And as said, Edu 4 points. Oh, Edu a little bit sideways. And cross the line, and only P2 because we only have 2 drivers that have completed a lap so far. But Ritz, I gotta get your mind in here because you're a better driver than me. Let's be honest here. Forgetting about what happened to you about half an hour ago, Britain, this track. What are your thoughts on this track?
Well, this is a very, very fast track. It usually wasn't like this, but the new regulations in 2017 made this an absolute flyer of a lap. You hold it flat for a large amount. I'm not a catcher, so I can't tell you the exact statistics, but it's still very, very fast. And yeah, it's a very nice track, and it's definitely one that promotes a lot of good racing.
some say a DRS train of racing, which we have seen so far a little bit this weekend. And BrunoWill also going P2 very nicely in the McLaren. Of course, BrunoWill third in the championship. Yeah, it's one of those tracks where it's just DRS training can happen so easily. And I think we're going to see that a lot here tonight, probably from a certain three drivers who have been the top three in this championship pretty much since the beginning. But speed up across the line, it goes 24/7. I think you're going to see a real fight here between Perondi and Hoop. You're going to see the games that you kind of saw in Austria, where Hoop stayed behind Perondi for most of the bit of the race and then fought him hard, passed him, and took the win with about 2-3 laps to go. Apologies, Sharon, if I got that wrong. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight between these guys here tonight, and you could see other drivers maybe getting with the fight. Who knows? It's one of those tracks where that is very possible, where you can see a good 4-5 group battle for the lead. And another thing as well, as I'm basically talking like a long time here, like I would with Rick. So apologies, Ritz.
That's all right, man.
Another thing about this track is that the strategy is another big thing, because an early safety car can change it hugely in terms of what strategy you want to do. As I said earlier yesterday in Tier 3, you can take the mediums pretty early, but they can be a bit of a stretch. So strategy is a very interesting part of this track. I mean, it's pretty simple if we don't have a safety car, but that safety car comes in, strategy can mix things up a little bit, can't it?
Oh yeah, you can, as you said, you can take the mediums really, really early. I have heard a report that someone was able to take them, not in BRL, someone was able to take the mediums from lap 1, which is very, basically showcases that the hards are useless, yes. The hards suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, strategy is going to be dependent, especially for those outside of the top 10 who could be looking to pull off the reverse strategy and who's going to have blistering final stints. Or we could see some rain and see no stops. Because apparently that's a thing in Britain.
Yeah, well, I could tell you from a certain first Saturday night race, I struggled with that. But as I say in Tier 3, we don't talk about the first Saturday night race. But we're here for Tier 1, and Hoopolicious now is about to come to the end of his lap time here now. Another important night for Hoopolicious to get it right, to get another win here. But Chandler as well could be in the fight. B-Dunk, a few guys could be in the fight at the front here tonight, and we'll have to wait and see. Is this going to be the first in the 23s? No, it's not. It's a 24.056. As Perondi now is beginning his lap time. Catra's on an out lap. I might go on board with Catra a little bit later on, because we'll watch the end of what Perondi does here. As Perondi, fastest first sector here at the moment. The Williams driver, of course, looking to just continue the winning ways he's been doing. The Brazilian's just been absolutely superb. I mean, 6 wins so far this season. I mean, Ritz, you and I would be dreaming of a start like that in our own tiers.
Yeesh, yeah, 6 wins for, what are we on, round 8, round 9? That's humongous. 9. Yeah, it's a lot. Basically what we're seeing here is Perondi domination. It's the best way you can put it.
He's had Hoopolicious there with him, but there's just been certain races like Canada where he just was absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. And we'll be looking to do stuff like that here tonight as we watch Perondi now in the last few corners now. And let's see where he goes. This is the first 23. Yes, it is. It's a 23.918. And that is a very good start here for him.
Very, very fast lap. 23s.
Very close between the top 4, especially at a track like this. It's pretty close. 0.3. Pretty close between the top 4. And I think, who knows, that could change a little bit as the session goes on here. As I'll scroll down here, excuse the scrolling, to Catra in the Ferrari. Of course, she's 9 points in the championship at the moment, looking to get a couple more points here at the moment here in Tier 1. As we'll see what she can do here, and we'll try to see if could sneak into that top 10.
Yeah.
As I'm trying to bring up the chat.
A top 10 is definitely something to aim for.
Well, I'll mention it as Edu goes P5, Katra goes to P13, but I'm sure Katra, you can definitely improve on that one. Well, who else we got here? We've got B Dunk as well, who could definitely be up there within the fight as well on his best days. But as I was saying to Axio, well, I was speaking to Ax yesterday, who is P7 at the moment. You know, Tier 1, it's different to tiers that we are in, where it can be very mixed up. Tier 1, you're going to have those group of fast guys, and then that mid-pack that is so close every week. And we see that in the championship at the moment. I do apologise first that we don't have the points on screen. They'll be back next week. You know, like BrunoWill, Chandler, Formula, Dunk, and then you go down to Finn, Alan, and then you've got Deer, Axe, all these points where at the end of the season, these championship positions can change all the way until the final round in Brazil, which is, of course, what? That's 9 rounds left in time.
Yeah, it's all to play for with what I believe this is almost the midway point, or at the midway point. There's still so much that could change in the midfield. Oh, very close.
It'll change it'll always change every second, and I think we're going to see that a lot throughout the season here in Tier 1. As I'm trying to see who maybe is about to start lap time here. We have 5 minutes and 50. Yes, he is. Sak about to finish off his lap time here now. Sak back racing here tonight in the Haas, and we'll see what he can do here now. Crosses the line, goes P10. As we'll see now. I've got a question for you right now. Would you like to do an onboard lap? Yes or no?
What, me commentating an onboard lap?
Yes.
Nah, I'm pretty sure I'd leave that honor to you. I'm not very good at being entertaining.
I should have asked this question beforehand, but this was very late notice, by the way. Katra literally messaged me in the commentators chat in the last minute saying, hey, you want Ritz? And I said, sure. But we'll go on board here with Chandler. And let's see what Chandler Sato can do here at the moment. As we're going to come around to turn 5 now, DRS. This is going to be another passing opportunity here tonight with DRS. You're going to see drivers maybe look for it turn 6. It can be very tight though. It can be very tight cornered fight. And now we come around the, what I like to call the old final 2 corners and the old front straight here at Silverstone. Chandler now will be looking to absolutely go for it, and here comes Cops. I think one of the most difficult corners on track, but some may say coming up Maggots and Beckett's is, because it's just, you can get it so wrong so easily. And I think Chandler now doing absolutely superbly. 2 attempts up. What can he do here? Hoop is also on a lap time as well, so we'll go with Hoop here, coming through so, and let's see what Hoopolicious can do, and then we'll go to Chandler. 2 drivers that can definitely be in contention for a pole and a win here. Crosses the line now, goes pole, 23.7. Does Chandler beat it? No, he doesn't. He was fastest in the last sector. And, wow, 23.7 is an impressive lap time, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely blistering pace from Hoop and Chandler.
So, as you're in the chat, you'll see.
Apparently there's a lot of rain. It's going to be very, very wet for our race. As Feta and Titan, I've seen you text me about the rain. I've noticed. I've just ignored you.
Well, I'll tell you right now, me and Rick usually ignore if someone tags us because we're so invested in it. Yeah, so fully heavy, well, full rain, let's just say, full rain for this Grand Prix. Tier 1, I tell you what, all the tiers in BRL can fake Tier 1 because it's always wet in Tier 1 every weekend almost. So, and I'm pretty sure actually it rained last season here in Britain for Tier 1 as well, because I remember actually watching it. So the rain just won't go away for these boys here in Tier 1. So give me your thoughts on the rain here in Britain.
Well, rain at Britain, I raced around to realistic, absolutely great tier.
So did I.
Yeah, it was nice. Rain around Britain, it's definitely something else. You have to keep control of your car because, as I said, this is a very, very high-speed track. Holding corners such as turn 1, Cops, and Maggots and Beckett's, keeping the car under control. Very difficult. And, you know, at any points you can spin if you just too much on the throttle. But as these guys are the best of the best, our Tier 1 drivers, we're going to have to see who can hold the car under control better and go fastest.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's these guys, Tier 1 boys and girls, it's all about getting the best, and the best here, Tier 1, will handle the rain beautifully. And depending how the rain could play out as BrunoWill retires from the session, it's going to be full rain all race here. So there you go. Mr. Titan gave us the information there. So full wets could be a zero stop. Well, zero stop. These boys will go zero stop pretty easy unless someone in here's got tyre wear like me. It's just going to be full wet, zero stop to the end, especially on wets. Usually inters can be a little bit of a difficult task, but most likely full wets, most of them will be going to the end as Chandler Sato has retired, so Chandler Sato's done. Hoopolicious, I don't think will get to the line in time. So we're in the last stages now of qualifying, 42 seconds to go. Chat, settle yourself in because this will get very, very tasty. Just like it always does here in Tier 1 qualifying. Perondi now starts a lap time, Formula out there as well. And one of the first ones to set a lap time, I believe, excuse my scrolling, will be FinFan, and he is 1/10 up on his time right now.
And actually, something to bring up
yeah.
with the wet race, most of these guys are going to be running either full wet setups or modified wet setups. I like to run mostly dry setups around the wet track. So this shouldn't be the best times in the world because they're preparing for the rain.
That's true. That's true. I was sitting here expecting maybe someone could somehow sneak into a 22, but maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, it's going to be. You're going to see a lot of these guys probably on a wet type of setup, as you said, and especially when it's full wet. I mean, if it wasn't full wet, you may have a little bit of a different story, like we saw yesterday in my tier. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out as Finn crosses the line. He goes P10 in the Haas.
Perondi
Sack now
absolutely flying.
Actually, well, Sack goes P9. It's okay. Formula stays P5. Perondi pole. Yes, it is. 23.633 and goes pole position. That's going to be so important for him in this one. B-Dunk now. Let's see where B-Dunk can go. Tyler Clan crosses the line, and it's only P12 for him. B-Dunk now, P6. B-Dunk, of course, is down in P6 in the championship. Can he improve?
Looks like he
did, but it's not a position, though. But does improve on time, so all of a sudden, qualifying is done.
What a qualifying. Look at the top three. They're all separated by a tenth.
Absolutely close as you want to get between the top three. These three have been the market getters of this season. Even though Chandler is fourth for the championship, he has still been up there. And BrunoWill as well. BrunoWill's just been consistent this season and doing superbly. As Saxman and Fern, the only two have not completed a lap time, but who knows, maybe that could be a good strategy to have anyway and start at the back, because a wet race can always bring up the wildness, but it is Tier 1, so I suspect it will be, I hope it is calm. But you never know in the wet.
We shouldn't be expecting a demo there, folks. There should be some of the cleanest racing you can see, because these guys are all very, very experienced. They all know what they're doing and how to go fast. So should be a hell of
And
a
I
race.
think, oh my goodness me, it's full wet. It's going to be interesting to see how these battles will play out. I mean, I experienced it yesterday in the wet. It's very tough. Passing in the wet in these conditions at this track can be a little bit tough, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out between Perondi and Hoop, and how it's going to play out at the start here. We saw how wild it was turn 1 in Spain when it was wet, and it could get even more wilder here in this one.
Yeah, something, because I know this is going to be brought up by a lot of folks, either in the Tier 1 chat or in general. There always is the controversy of the quote-unquote pad traction. So we are going to have to watch out for that. I personally believe it is a thing, but not that OP. However, that is just my opinion, and other people can believe otherwise. But it's still something to watch out for.
That's right. It's always... the wet brings out the difference in everything, and it always will. And, folks, give us who you think is going to be a race winner here tonight, and a prediction of maybe a smoking podium. You never know. It could get crazy here in Tier 1. I'm here tonight with Ritzy Raccoon. Rick James not here tonight, but he will be back with me next week. The absolute smooth voice of him next week at the Hungarian Grand Prix. But we've got 26 laps of the British Grand Prix to happen here as Formula. That's not the way you want to start. But
yeah, Formula struggling on grip already, and this is just the formation lap.
I will give him I'm not laughing at him there, because I tell you this right now, when there's been no wet conditions in qualifying and then you come straight into the race, it's very easy to do that, because you're trying to figure out figure out the track, figure out the wet conditions, because you just gotta get it into your mindset. As I'm just gonna get everything set here, folks, don't mind me. There we go. But I'm gonna for the first time, I'm going to ask you. I don't think back when you were a great Tier 4 commentator, someone asked you of your prediction for the race. So I'm going to ask you prediction for the race. Who do you think will win this one?
Well, this is kind of something that shouldn't be brought to me, because I unfortunately don't really watch Tier 1, even though these guys are very, very good drivers. I can't really give a call, because I just don't know like the level that these drivers go on to. Personally, I only know of like Hoop and Chandler, like those guys, because they're in the esports space, you know. But Perondi's also been very, very quick. I've seen the stats. He's basically dominated almost this entire season. So I think he's the guy I'm gonna have to go for.
Yeah, I do agree. Perondi was very quick in the wet for the season, and he's going to look superb here tonight. But chat, get ready, because it will be a interesting race to say the least here for 26 laps of the British Grand Prix. Perondi and Hoop inside each other for the formation lap. Is that a sign of things to come? I hope not. But
that is going to show us how close things are going to be.
Yeah, it'll show how close things are going to be here, and get ready for this one. It's going to be Perondi, Hoopolicious, Chandler Sater, BrunoWill, and Formula. That is your top 5. Formula P5 once again. Formula loves that P5, and he's going to see if he can get it here again tonight. Waiting for Fern to line up in the last position. Silverstone, it's one of the best tracks. Even though I'm Australian, I don't want to admit that, but it is a great track, and we are here to go. The yellow flags are out. We're just waiting to go racing here for the British Grand Prix. Hopefully. Yeah, here we go. The lights will go out. It will be Perondi versus Hoopolicious as we're racing. It looks like it's a great start for Perondi. He gets the jump well. Oh, and he just pulls in there, Hoopolicious. I thought there may have been... Chandler might have to lift off there. But BrunoWill now looks for possibly for P2 here at the moment. side by side, and BrunoWill goes into second, but Hoop looks to fight it back. Can he fight it back though? No, he can't fight that one back. Or can he? He's still trying to fight back here. Doesn't, and BrunoWill goes to second in this one. About 3 wide at the back. Chandler Sater goes back into fifth now, as everyone now trying to vie for position behind here at the back of the pack. As Hoop now, excuse the scrolling, and look at this now. Hoop is through on BrunoWill. Can barely see a thing because it's absolutely pouring down here at Silverstone at the moment. And Hoop now is through the second. What has happened at the back? It's Fern. Oh dear. I don't know what's happened there to Fern. Fern back in last, but everyone was just all near each other. It was 3 or 4 wide at one point. It's absolutely insane in these wet conditions on the opening lap. As now Formula P4 at the moment, looking very good here. Chandler Sater not getting the start that he would have wanted. And Chandler now back in P5, B-Dog P6 here at the moment, as now looks like Alan now looks for the move here on second. He's got it done. So Alan now goes up into P8, and Perondi fast lap of the race, 2 seconds to gap, and it shows you how important that start is at the opening laps of a Grand Prix, especially in these wet conditions. As Saxman and Catcher are in. So looks like that something must have happened between Fern. Oh, Fern's around. No, Fern holds on. Looks like something went down at the back. Maybe between Fern, Saxman, and Catcher. Maybe. I don't know. It's tough to say how that all went down. But Fiend steady here on lap 2 of 26 of this British Grand Prix, and Perondi's holding on to that lead beautifully. As, scrolling down, it's now Chandler now, who's going to try to see if he can get back into a rhythm here, because losing those couple of position starts have definitely cost him.
Yeah, excuse me for my sudden disappearance, but yeah, Perondi
it's okay.
He's already pulled out 2-second gap on Hoop, just coming back to that, and it's pretty massive already.
As I said, it's so important to get that good start, and that's what he's done. He's got that good start, 1.9 seconds, and now we'll just try to hold that lead towards the end of this race.
Hoop just hit a fat drift over Stowe while holding the overtake button. Absolutely amazing scenes.
I don't know what was going on. Yeah, just that's the thing about these conditions. You're going to it with the absolute limits, and that's what Hoop was doing there. And that's what you got to do here. Lap 3 of 26, and especially when there's... Oh, and Hoop's done it again. Hoop's just going for it, pushing to the absolute limits to try to hunt down Perondi here. And because it's so important, since, well, if this is indeed going to stay full wet to the end, it's going to be no pit stops, most likely, especially for the top guys. So that's going to be the hard part, and Hoop is just losing time to BrunoWill here at the moment, and it's 4 seconds almost. Hoop looks like he's struggling.
Yeah, we also see a big battle back here in P9, the battle for P9. It's almost 4 or 5 cars trying to get that position. I think there's also another one going for P7. So yeah, the field is still pretty close in the midfield.
Apologies, chat. I don't know why the game was doing that to me. As, yeah, pretty close here. 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th, and 13th. They're all here. Big paddle pack here at the moment for the outer positions.
Bruno
in this one for the outer points.
Catching Hoop very hard. Hoop almost tank slapped it. Bruno, I think he's going to go for it.
No, not around. Oh, I thought he was going to figure it out around the outside. If he did that around the outside, turn 15, I would have lost my mind. As he knows Hoopolicious is struggling. When you're behind the car and you can see they're struggling, you just know. And this is going to be big here for BrunoWill to get done, as Sack is sped in the pit lane, and that is a time. 5-second time penalty, and he might have got wing damage somewhere. I believe there was him and Finn were very close to each other at certain points, so I don't know if anything went wrong there. And look at this now. Because Hoop is struggling here at the moment, we've got a four-way battle pack here, basically, for P2.
Yeah, very, very close. I'm looking at Zach. I don't believe he had wing damage unless the game is being buggy. I think he did have wing damage because I held him in the pits.
Yeah. That's just pin that early is what I'm thinking. Probably damage somewhere. I don't know where it possibly could have come from, but who knows. Formula.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if he can get close to BrunoWill. Yes.
Yeah, the battle for P2 is lighting up. It just looks like it's almost a 5-6 car train trying to get past the struggling Hoopolicious.
And Edu could come into this fight at any time point as Alan is getting close to him as well. Close watch here of the McLaren trying to stick here with Hoopolicious. And in these conditions, it's just going to be all about mostly waiting for the guy ahead to make a mistake. And Hoop's been making a couple of those at the moment, but he's holding on to that position still very nicely. 5.2 for Perondi. He is gone.
As Alon and Edu are going side by side into the final sequence of corners.
Look at this, looks for the move. Oh, that's beautiful there from Edu. And look at this now, Alon looks to fight back. No,
Alon had an
back.
absolutely massive run down the final big straight. He caught it up but wasn't able to make the move stick.
It just couldn't make the move stick, and
he's going for it here.
Beautiful.
Too far back. Yeah, Alon's looking to get past Edu. He's
Here
hot on his heels. Look at him again.
Side by side, maybe a little bit of a rub there, maybe, and good. Oh, you hold your breath when you see them very close together like this,
He's gonna
especially
go
in these
for it
wet
once
conditions. Goes for it here, and now can he get it done? No, there's contact.
Ooh.
Oh, we just said it before. The closeness here in these wet conditions can bring up some contact like that, and that's what's just happened. Edu, however, still maintains the position but loses some time up ahead as Fin runs a little bit wide, and Tyler Clean says thank you very much and goes into P9. Oh.
Yeah. Very, very close battling from these folks. As I think Axe and Fern, they're both struggling. They're both getting overtaken back here. It's not looking good for the Alfa Romeo drivers, and as an Alfa Romeo driver myself, it does hurt to see. I can't lie.
I do agree. Even I'm an Alfa Tauri driver at the moment, I'm still hard is with Alfa Romeo, as we'll watch Alan here at the moment. I feel like he's quicker than Edu, but just can't get it done here at the moment. And also, Hoopolicious has gotten that margin to BrunoWill over a second, so maybe he's getting the better terms of the track here at the moment.
It's very, very difficult to find a place to overtake around Britain normally, because you have the assistance of DRS, but in the wet it's even worse as Chandler is catching up very quickly to the back as well.
Oh my goodness me, Edu went wide, but then Alarm went even wider. And now Tyler Clan says thank you, and will come through into P8. Does Fin take up the pickings here and maybe get him to P9? Not just yet. So Finn will have to sit back in P10 at the moment and may have to worry about Meanfin behind in P11. But very close racing between these guys in the mid-pack like it always is here in Tier 1. And, oh boy, it's heating up here at the moment. Chandler Sato maybe struggling a little bit in these conditions. Formula P4 at the moment. And trying to stick with BrunoWill if he possibly can. So, it's very interesting story at the front. As Hoopolicious now is actually gaining a little time here on Perondi. Maybe Perondi struggling a little bit, who knows, because Perondi has been using his ERS, as you can see on your screen. So, it's could be an interesting story to play out later in the race. It's only lap 6:26 still. Anything can go down, and no retirements as of yet.
Yeah, there's a massive battle going on in the midfield. There's a battle for the lead, and there's also a small battle back there. There's battles everywhere. It's hard to keep up, but that's what makes Tier 1 as diverse as it can be at times. There's still battles everywhere. And that's what you like to see as Alan
That's
almost oversteers into the wall into Sir Hamilton Straight or whatever it's called. Finn fans.
Oh, that's right.
Trying to catch. I don't know the names of any corners. I don't know the corner numbers. I don't know much.
I remembered that it's now called Hamilton Straight. I'm pretty sure now. That's right. Forgot about that. Commentators, write that down as Tyler Clare now. Well, Catcher probably already wrote that down anyway. Alan gets a time penalty, so that's 3 seconds for the McLaren, and that's not what he will want to see. As Edu now, yes,
Finn fans catching,
and Finn fans as
so
well.
is Taylor and Edu. I didn't notice that. Wow.
And Mainford and Axe are right there behind as well, so it's also another fight behind P9 as well. So it's absolutely going down here at the moment, as I think maybe Catcher or Fur maybe had a moment. I don't know which one. There was a yellow flag for a split second.
I believe Ferns is struggling to keep the traction on the car. It's not looking very well for now for a male driver.
Oh, and Finn goes in the grass. Axis was catching Mainford and has a mistake as well. So this pack, it's just all the survival of the fittest really at the moment in these wet conditions. As Mainford now trying to see if he can look here on Finn for P10. Is it going to be enough? Looks for no, not enough.
You can see
in the dry. You could. Oh, you go.
You can see Chandler's pushing harder now as he sets the fastest lap. This could also mean that the track could be drying up as Chandler just... I don't know what the previous fastest lap was, but he just nailed a new one. Ooh, as Finn fans off the track.
Oh. Side by side, Bigford and Finn goes.
Oh, look at Axe.
Oh, look at Axe! Coming through. Can Axe get 2 positions here? And Sector 3, it's Fern. And look at this now. Can Axe look for the move here on Finn for P10? Oh, close as you want to get. Does he look for it back? No, and Axe gets a time penalty.
That's a rough place. That's a place that I haven't really seen anybody get a warning for. The Axe came out of nowhere. He benefited off of the fact that Finn Fan got a massive tank slapper in second corner. Just went off the track and he caught Fern napping and just took the position.
Now the big story here, folks, we'll go back to that pack in a minute. 3.6 down between Hoop and Perondi. So that's interesting to say the least, that Hoop has gained some time here on Perondi. So that could, again, another story that could play out. BrunoWill is still sticking with Hoop. Even though it's around the 1 second to 1.1, he's still sticking with him. So BrunoWill could maybe become a story at some point in this one, as pretty much the same stories with Formula and Chandler. It's all about, again, as I said, survival of the fittest. When's one going to make a mistake and just open up this race completely? Or a safety car, which I like to bring up a lot in Tier 3, because safety cars can change everything, especially in wet conditions.
A safety car in wet conditions would flip the game on its head. It would basically give everyone a chance to pit for new wets, or if the safety car comes late enough, they could even try inters. Axe is getting a massive tank slapper out of that corner, trying to catch up and keep up with FinFan. Fern hasn't been able to keep up that much with Axe. He's still right there, but he's not been able to gain the time that he needs, because it is very difficult to do so around Britain, especially in the wet.
Yeah, it is very difficult to do around this circuit, and especially in the wet, as you said. And we're seeing that here tonight. And as I said, it's all about those mistakes. Can they happen? That's when you're going to get your opportunity. As Formula's catching up to BrunoWill, but Tyler Clay catching up to Edu again. Tyler Clay's just been hovering around the Red Bull ever so often, trying to see what he could do here. And of course, Tyler at the moment on 7 points in the championship and looking to get a few more points here tonight. It's now under 3 seconds for Perondi and Hoopolicious. we'll keep an eye on that for you folks, because that will definitely be chopping and changing throughout the race. Perondi to me is still pushing, as you can see, still around 70%. Hoop's probably pushing a little bit more, but Hoop is definitely catching. So, oh my goodness me, holds on to that. I thought he was going to go off into the weeds, but holds on to that. Doesn't lose much time, but it just shows you how much he's really pushing for this. 60 points behind in the championship, wants to get points back here on Hoop to keep this championship fight really alive.
Yeah, Hoop's just on the knife's edge. He's doing everything that he can, and he has done very well actually. He's caught the back of Perondi, as we have been, or you have been keeping track of. I've been looking more in the midfield pack. As Fern caught up to Axe a lot, he's still unable to make a move as they come into the more technical part of the track.
Also keep an eye on here on Tyler and Endu, because I just feel like Tyler Clan at any moment can really go for this move here on Endu. But
Taylor, yeah, because Taylor, I know he has a lot of pace in the wet, as he showed in the realistic race as well. He just drove the best out of the car.
Yeah, it's, as you said before, in these wet conditions, you're just got to find the right moment to go for it. And that's what we'd be looking for here. 3.5 now is the margin for the lead. So Hoop's mistake has cost him a little bit. And Perondi all of a sudden, well, there you go. Perondi's just said, all right, let's go. And a 39.902 1.0 for you fans out there goes there and gets a good lap time, as BrunoWill does.
Caught the back of Hoop. Yeah, these three are challenging for the final 2 spots on the podium.
Well, that 3-second time penalty is not going to help, as I might have been beat up, but someone else has gone.
No,
it's
it's
Fern.
Yeah, Fern's struggling very, very much in these wet conditions. Unfortunate to see. Wait, Bruno's just right on the gearbox of the Ferrari. You can see him trying to get the traction. He puts it down on the overtake.
Gets it done.
Done before we get onto the straight. Wow.
It's amazing how Hoop, those last 5 laps, was just absolutely on it, and then all of a sudden it's just gone again. And BrunoWill now, P2, will need it since he's got a 3-second time penalty. We'll be looking to see what he can do here in the latter stages of this race. We're on lap 11 of 26, 4.8 seconds between Perondi and BrunoWill in this one. But Hoop will look to fight back if he can, to see if he can get this done. Chandler Satis lost a bit of time, 2.9 seconds behind Formula now, so Chandler needs to find something to get back into this pack, as Tyler Clay now gets a
reset.
Fern is off.
Fern,
I hold my breath.
I sympathize for Fern.
I held my breath for a second. I heard my breath for a second there because I thought it might have been. I thought he was out, but anyway.
I mean, if it was out, that'd be a safety car. That'd spice things up. Like, obviously, you won't wish, or you won't want to wish for a driver to retire, but it will spice up the racing.
That's right. It will spice up the racing indeed, and it's very interesting to see. BrunoWill is getting away from Hoop here.
That's the Ferrari. That's not the Ferrari. That's a Fern again. Yeah, Fern's just not having a good day.
Catra will not like that you said that.
It's a red car. It's very difficult to tell who's who.
It's true. I'll give you that. It is true. I suspect. Yeah, I suspected that. And
Poor
that
Fern.
is Fern out for the race.
Definitely was not his day today. Could not master
Tyler,
the wet conditions.
Tyler Clance right on Edu here. Right on Edu here for P7. This is very close here at the moment between these two. Tyler Clan ever so often has gotten close and close and close, but just not enough. Also, Alan, Finn, Axe and Fern are still in a fight at the moment. That fight probably just won't end till the end of the race. Those two are just massive battle pack between those four at the moment in this Grand Prix. And Tyler Leclerc now still trying to look. And also another battle pack still is that battle for P2 in this one. There's so many battle packs here at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely very nice, and if we could have multiple perspectives, that would represent the drivers' battles a lot better, but unfortunately, as it is, we can only show one at a time.
Well, that's why you're here, to tell me when you yell.
Well, I'm gonna start. Well, I'm not gonna start shouting, but like you're gonna hear excitement when I see someone go for a move.
Yes. Yes, that's what I do every week with Rick. And so it's still 0.3. It's just not close enough tile at the moment. Finn is just not really there on Alan at the moment. And same with Axe with Finn, Meanfirm with Axe. It's just, that's the tail of the tape in this race at the moment. And I like to point out here, 2.3 seconds between Perondi and BrunoWill at the moment. About a lap or two ago, it's about 4. Perondi must have had a moment somewhere. Surely.
Yeah, Bruno's been catching the back of the Williams very, very quickly. Hoop's still trying to stay on the back of the McLaren. He is. So is Formula.
I feel like Perondi and Hoop at the moment are in a similar situation. They both have their gold moments of good times, and then all of a sudden the wheels just turn off for them and they lose time. It's just flip and flop at the moment between
Ooh, as
the
Taylor's
both of them.
catching Edu, as Edu's had a bit of a moment up still, but he's still not close enough. As speaking of Hoop, I'm pretty sure his tires are definitely switched on. As Fern and Axe is gonna go into the pits. I don't know what's happened there. I believe he's following Jeff's instructions, but you can easily do those because I can see the pit windows.
Or it could be a thing. I've seen a couple of drivers do it. I did it, and I know one other driver tried to do it in T4, where, yeah, it could be either follow... No, Inters!
On Inters?
Wow!
Axe. Yeah, he's a daring man.
Well, I spoke to Axe last night, and Axe spoke about how daring he has to be sometimes, and that's what he's trying to do right now. Hoping to see what he can do and see if he can gain some time. The margin between him and Sack right now, 7
Edu's had a moment.
Yep.
Taylor's gonna go around the outside, starting to cut you off. It looks like they're gonna go side by side into cops. Edu's had a massive tank slapper. Taylor's been able to capitalize. They're still going side by side. He just made it around the outside.
My goodness me, apologies for being loud there, folks, but I just had to. That was unbelievable. Tyler Clan, absolutely amazing stuff there. Edu, I'll tell you what, if Edu was a little bit more to the left, it could have been more catastrophic. But well done by the AlphaTauri driver there. Moves up into P7 in this Grand Prix. Hey, Catra's now in on Inters. Axe is catching Sack on wets. So, what does this play out for this Grand Prix at the moment? Oh.
Yeah, it definitely is looking like the rain is lightening out. I don't know, just by looking off of this, I don't know if it's enough for just inners. But we're going to have to keep a close eye as Taylor almost loses the car. This could bring Edu back.
Looks for it. Round the outside. And here comes Alan as well. Alan might try to sneakily look for it. Side by side, these two will go. We'll watch this from the McLaren's point of view if we can, because a nice spray. No, we'll go with this shot side by side, but Edu will get it done again. And this fight will now turn into a big fight. And look at this now. Edu may have struggled a little bit through the corner, and Tyler Clear now has got to look for the move back if he possibly can. Absolutely wild scene to the moment.
Grip that he has.
Looks for it. The McLaren driver looks for it here at the moment. Through the old turn one, and should get, no, side by side. Tyler Clear looks to hold on if he can. No is the answer. and he will have to go back into P9. Unbelievably, a lap ago he was P7, now back to P9. It's incredible scenes here at the moment as FinFan, the one in this group that doesn't have a time penalty, including Meanford, could be looking for a good result as Formula's in.
Formula's looking at the conditions. He thinks it's time for the inners. Could be very, very risky if the track isn't ready, but it also could pay off very well.
Well, I can tell you this right now, Axe is catching Meanford very bigly. Very bigly. Yes, that's a word. As Hoop struggles a little bit there. 2 seconds now. It's between BrunoWill and
was FinFan and
Perondi.
Taylor. Oh, FinFan looked like he wanted to make it side by side in turn 1. That was never going to work out, so he just decides to back out.
I do apologise to the leaders that we haven't showed much, but I guarantee right now we could see a bit of the leaders very soon looking at those gaps. But it's such a great battle here in the mid-pack, we have to keep an eye on it. 1.8 between BrunoWill and Perondi.
Oh,
this
yeah.
race could get very interesting.
That
and
right
there you go.
That's all the proof that you need. The inners are
Formula could get P2 here in a second if he gets a good lap here. Formula could go into P2. Maybe the lead, maybe. But we have to wait and see. That would open things up if Formula got into the lead of this race. Excuse my squeaking voice there, but my goodness me, that could open things up considerably. Let's watch what Perondi does here. We're coming up to 10 to go, folks. This race has gone very quick. Perondi stays out. BrunoWill stays out. Hoop comes in. He needs to try to do that because he is second in the championship. But another thing in all this is, remember, it's such a long pit lane time. And that could be another thing Perondi's thinking about here at the moment. Wow.
The deciding factor in all of this is if Formula sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix right here and overcuts or undercuts Hoop, my bad, that's going to send a message. That's going to tell everybody it's time. As Axe, even Axe setting a fast lap, that showed the pace of the inners, but is Formula going to be able to do it? I think he might.
Tyler Clan looking for it here on Elan, but holds back.
As
my goodness me.
Formula's done it. He's undercut Hoop. He has the potential here to take the fight to Perondi and Bruno.
I think he might have second in the bag here. I don't know about getting Perondi at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see here how it all plays out. There's the gap, folks, between Formula and Perondi. 30 seconds is the gap here at the moment. So, and they are catching. Well, I'll keep it on this screen for you all at the moment because it'll give you an idea the time that, as Zach does the fast lap race now, what time those instant runners are gaining. As we'll go back here to Perondi. What does he do? Stays out. BrunoWill stays out. Chandler Sater, what does he do in all this? Stays out. And again, as I said, Ritz, the thing is that 30 seconds is the gap. We have 9 to go. Unless Formula gains a lot of time, and unless this track gets to real intermediate conditions, Perondi doesn't really need to pit at the moment.
Taylor decides he should go into the pits. Yeah, you are correct. It's pretty late into the race. I think they're just trying to use their time to their advantage.
Yeah, it's going to all depend on what the track conditions do. As Alan, bit of a moment there for him. But yeah, it's going to depend on these track conditions. If Perondi stays out, and that's going to be huge for him in the championship. That's going to be absolutely humongous for him in this championship. And also big for BrunoWill as well to try to get some points on Hoopolicious for second in the World Championship at the moment. So that just plays into the factor of this race at the moment. It is 28.1. At the moment, if Perondi pitted, it would be very close between him and Formula. The fact of the matter is this right now is that if Perondi pitted, you'll see BrunoWill and Chandler possibly pit. But who knows? Again, it depends on how this race pans out. in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, along with another time penalty.
Something I'd like to note really quickly, Axe has just completely undercut Taylor. I'm pretty sure Axe was pretty far behind compared to Taylor, but look at the gap. 8 seconds was the gap when they came out of the pits, but this is where I know Taylor shines, in the intermediate conditions. So if any of the pack on the wets decides to pit, they're going to be completely undercut by the guys behind.
There's the penalties for you all at the moment. It is looking like it's a Perondi, BrunoWill, Chandler Satos now. Alan close with Edu once again. These two just can't stay off each other in this Grand Prix. Absolutely been all over each other at the moment. It's battling for a top 5, but Formula is coming. So is Hoopolicious. So those two will fight for this wet tyre pack very soon. And
this is about to get spicy.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be to see how Formula and Hoop plays this out, because that's going to be the interesting story in this one at the moment.
Yeah, this should definitely be a focus. If Formula and Hoop can deal with these wet runners very quickly, they have a shot to take it as far as they can. I don't think that the top are going to pit now. It's far too late for that, and they're going to get undercut. But they still need to get past this pack.
Alan now, closest, want to get to Edu, but not enough, as the Noodle says. I'm a new T6 driver BRL. Any tips for racing at that level? Survive. Just run your own race. That's all you got to do. Run your own race. And that's what everyone's got to do. If every tier, every league, that's what everyone does here in Tier 1. You run your own race, and who knows, you could get a good result in the end.
Well,
and that's what...
Sorry to cut you off here. Yeah, we need to watch Formula in this final sector. Stowe's a very fast corner. You can see just the amount of grip that he has. He could get past Fern here.
Looks around, looks. Bang Fern tries to fight it, but just not enough.
Hoop might capitalize on it as well.
Through the final corner, and should...
not able to.
Oh. Yeah, you got to be very brave to look for a move at turn 1. Very brave. This Bang Fern...
He might go for it again. Nah, Hoop's too far back. You see Formula just slicing and dicing. Just trying to get us...
Oh,
that's a send.
Gets it done.
Oh, that's a send.
Apologies for not getting the right camera angle there, folks. It's now Formula. It's about to go for the move here on FinFan. Should get it done. Yes, says goodbye and gets it done. And now, no, Finn looks to fight it back. Side by side, these two will go. And it's still on. Sack gets the fastest up in the race. He's down in P13. And now Formula up in the 7th. And this fight between the Red Bull and the McLaren is still on.
Yeah, Alon and Edu just haven't been able to get away from each other, as you said before. As Hoop was finally able to get past Fern, and you can already see the gap that he made. This is where Formula needs to use the tires to his advantage. Look at the grip.
Alon looks like he may have made a little moment, and this is going to allow the Williams driver to come through here on the McLaren if he can. Hoop is through on FinFan, but let's keep an eye here on Formula. Can he get this done on the McLaren? Yes, he does. Through to P6 now. And now he's got Edu up ahead to deal with next. Can he possibly get through here for P5? We're on 6 to go.
Hoop is also right behind the line. He's going to go for the turn 1, it looks like. No, he's not. He backs out.
No.
Going for a move into turn 1 is absolutely suicidal. Formula's going to send it.
Gets it done.
The amounts of grip that the Inters have is Hoop. I thought he was going to go for another send. No, he's not. Oh, but he might.
Through. There we go.
The traction. Well, granted, Alan was on the curb for way too long. But still, the Inters they're outpacing the wets right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely outpacing at the moment. And Hoop now's trying to see if he can get past Edu here at the moment. To get in the P6, so Formula will be 5th. Hoopolicious will be 6th. And really the only hope for these two at the moment is that maybe someone in the top four maybe has pushed their wets to the absolute limit, but you never know. As Katra now is battling with the race leader, but of course Katra is a lap down on intermediate tyres. And Katra now hoping one day this could be her fighting for P1.
And this also shows you the pace advantage that the Inters have at this moment. It's very obvious at the time.
I don't know why I'm watching Katra. We'll watch Alan and Edu here at the moment. Alan looks for it. Gets it done. And Alan through to P7. Alan does have the extra penalty, but that's not really to worry about at the moment. As now Finn looks for it. Turn one. Here we go. These two will go side by side. There's contact. Contact. Finn goes around. And that was going to end ugly. And it did. Tyler Clan does the fastest lap of the race. And Finn goes around, now outside the points. And boy, oh boy, that was very interesting. As Endu now drifts back to P9. Mingfern goes to P8. And Alan P7 at the moment. 22 of 26. If a safety car came out right now, boy oh boy, that would open things up. But we've got one more lap to go before that becomes a story within itself. BrunoWill doing superbly in P2 at the moment. Superbly. And this will be a great result for him. Get a couple of points on Hoopolicious to maybe see if he can maybe get in the fight for P2 in the championship. As we've got 4 to go, the final lap for a possible safety car, but I don't know if we're going to see that here tonight. Absolutely wild race. These conditions have changed everything here at the moment, as Formula now has caught up to B-Dunk, and I think for Formula right now, unless anything happens for the top 3, I think for Formula right now, it's going to be a P4 in this one, because it's 10.8 seconds between him and Chandler Sater at the moment. Wow. Looks for it.
Once again in the battle.
Side by side these two will go. They had a bit of a tangle in Austria, but it will be easy at the moment. Formula goes through to P4. And B-Dunk goes P5, but Hoopolicious is coming at him in this one at the moment. So incredible here at the moment. 1.3 seconds is the margin for the lead. Perondi's managed to hold on to this win at the moment, but there's still 3 to go coming up. It's still anyone's ball game here at the moment. As now Hoop is through on B-Dunk. So Hoop goes through P5 at the moment. And Axe now is on Edu.
Axe has made absolutely miles of time, heaps of time. Look at the grip that he has. He could get the move done before Maggots and Beckett, as actually Edu has wing damage.
Oh, that was close there between those two. He may have gotten with that collision with Fin, maybe. May have gotten it from there, possibly. I don't know. That could have been where he got it. It was a bit of a tangle between those two. And Edu now P10 will have to hold 4.4 seconds if he can. Well, actually 7.5, because Tyler Clan has 1 extra penalty than he does. Hoopolicious with the fast lap of the race. Important for his championship. As BrunoWill's trying to get this under a second between him and Perondi. The fact is now he'll be pushing as hard as he can to try to get Perondi to maybe get a penalty and then equalise this race for him. That's what he will try to hope for, and try to push Perondi to the absolute limits. That's what BrunoWill will be thinking right now. And it's still not over, really. 3 to go, 1 second. It doesn't end until that final checkered flag.
Yeah, something else that we should be watching is there's a yellow flag for Haas, I think. Axe is making up positions left and right. He's caught up to the back of Fern and Alon. His absolutely daring pit stop could be proving to have worked out.
could get a P7 here, but does have 6 seconds worth of time penalties. But so does Alan, so it could still be a P8, and if he can maybe gain 6 seconds on Fern, gets close to him. Gets very close to him, trying to see what he can do here with the Renault. Will want to get past on those intermediate tyres. Formula 6.4 seconds between him and Chandler. It's going to be too little too late for Formula to get on the podium. But look at this now. We'll stick with Axe. Looks to get for P8 here at the moment on track. Side by side. Closest you'll want to get. And Axe goes through. Hoop does the fast slap of the race. And actually, it could become a fight now between Formula and Hoop maybe. As now Alan makes a little mistake. May have went a bit too deep. And Axe looks maybe around the outside. No. It's under a second between BrunoWill.
No, he's not.
It's under a second between BrunoWill and Perondi at the moment. We may have to keep an eye on that if anything goes down. As now, Axe looks... Tyler Clean's got into the points as well, by the way, in P10. Oh, close as you want to get.
He's
maybe
go
a
for it
little
here.
touch. Yeah, gets it done.
Yeah, the
Through to
interns.
P7.
It's absolutely amazing grip. Axe. Just what a call. Yeah, as you are
helped him
correct.
for his race. It's helped him for his race, absolutely. Yes.
There's no doubt about it. Both of the Brazilians are actually very, very close. If there was a bigger gap, I do recall, if I recall properly, actually, between these two, but Bruno's has been able to catch it back.
It was about 3 seconds, I'd say, about 3 seconds, and now he's got it under a second. BrunoWill has. All this will now be is just to pressure Perondi here, maybe into a mistake. A Formula and Hoopolicious as well. Now, in this fight as well, it's 3.4. I tell you what, Formula has definitely caught up. If Chandler makes a mistake, the podium could open up here in a matter of seconds. We'll have to wait and see in this one. But Perondi now looking for his 7th win of the season. It's been absolutely unbelievable for him here. As I just take a quick drink of water there. 0.8 seconds to margin, but BrunoWill has the 3-second time penalty. It's not going to be enough for him, but he will still try to pressure him as much as he can because this is his best chance at the moment. A P2, it's going to be a beautiful P2 for him at the moment. And will gain some points on Hoopolicious in the championship for P2 in the championship. As Sack and Edge are going at it down in P11 and Tyler Clean's close to Mingford, but we'll watch the leaders here at the moment. 1.6 as well between Chandler and Formula. If it was one more lap, Formula may have had him. As Perondi checks up a little bit there. What a performance by the Brazilian. The Williams driver is going to get another win this season and will extend that championship lead even further. It's under a second between Chandler and Formula. We'll watch it in just a second. BrunoWill's getting close to Perondi, but it's not going to be enough. The Brazilians, superb. Mainfern, I think, has gone around, but Perondi will win the British Grand Prix and another win for this season. BrunoWill
Look at Formula
second.
and Chandler. They're very close across the line. Look at the grips of the inners. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh!
What a finish for Formula and Hoop, who's put it in the wall. Wow.
And Axe has come so close to beat up, but it's not going to be enough.
He could do the same as Formula if he has the grip. I don't think he is, but look at how tantalizingly close he is to the Mercedes. Taylor, I don't know what's happened to Taylor. He's going very slowly. Could be out of fuel. I have no idea. Yeah, Taylor as well, just got the wrong call, really. Wasn't able to...
Something may have happened between... I did see a Renault around, so maybe something happened between those two, possibly. Yeah, we will... We'll invite BrunoWill and Chandler, because I don't think Perondi will join them. Maybe BrunoWill probably won't either. I will still invite them anyway. They don't have to join. It's up to them. Anyway.
I'll still invite them as well.
Yeah, I don't. Perondi doesn't usually join, so. But if the other two join, that would be fantastic. If not, that's okay. It's all good. Finfair across the line. P gets the fast lap of the race. A little bit of a. Maybe just a little pressure in the end there for him after what was an intense race. And catcher across the line, P15. And driver of the day will go to Mean Fern. That was a hell of a race here in Tier 1. And I hope you all enjoyed it in the chat, because it was fascinating to say the least. Perondi with the win. And I tell you what, right now, unless something dramatic happens, he's going to sail away with this championship.
Yeah, how I said, just looking at the stats for the first time, I just saw absolute domination. Only first and seconds, and this is another win to add to his name.
Hashtag New Zealand Run, please come back. I shouldn't say that.
We
maybe.
need
He said maybe.
Please.
He said maybe next season, okay, folks? He said maybe. Perondi from BrunoWill, Chandler Sater, Formula, Hoopolicious, B-Dunk, Axe, Mean Fern, Tyler Clan, Sack, and then outside the top 10, Alan, Edu, Saxman, Finfan, Katra, and Fern. But what a... But, yeah, that was very interesting to say the least. But, I think we'll just kick things off with Chandler real quickly here and wrap it up here, because that was a very entertaining race. I'll talk to Chandler now, and Chandler P3, a race that was just, the wet conditions really just opened things up really, and was a struggle, all sense of direction. Everyone had their good moments, everyone had their bad moments. Talk us through your race.
Oh yeah, just decent quality. I mean, it really wasn't a good quality, but I put me P3 and just a really bad start. I don't know what happened on that start. Dropped down P5, and for a bit I was looking fast, but then I overheated my tires, and that was that. I started falling back. But then kind of went to inters, so some people pit, some people didn't, and I was like 3-4 seconds behind Formula and Hoop when they pit, and in the end, of course, saw that I ended up finishing just ahead of them. So it turns out that the staying on the wets was the better option, but just going to the end of that wet stint, it was just about managing my pace and stuff. I started picking up the pace again, figuring it out. And in the end, I just was able to hold on. Probably, if the race went into turn 1, I probably would have lost that podium. But in the end, it turned out that staying on the wets was the right strat, and I just managed my pace, and that got me that podium back.
Yeah, got that podium back only just, and it was good result in the end. Podium get in there at the end is all that matters. Next week in Hungary, what are you thinking about that?
Well, I've probably done 20 laps total there on the team, and probably about 15 of them was BRL last season, and that race ended with me crashing because the game glitched and got back and wheel disconnected. But pace was horrible then. I don't expect any pace come next week. I don't know how much practice I'll be able to get in for it. I think I'll be battling in the midfield for that one, unfortunately. But who knows, maybe I'll find some time this week to actually put some practice in, and then if that's the case, then maybe I'll be up there. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, and Hungary always brings up some interesting racing, as always it does. The Monaco of not Monacos, that being Hungary. But, yeah, congratulations, P3, and we'll move on to Hungary next week. Congrats also to BrunoWill in P2 and Perondi with another win this season. Ritz, thank you for joining me tonight. It was a hell of a race.
It was, it really was. Although I kept coming and going, it still was very, very entertaining to watch. Very great racing. And yeah.
I know, it was absolute honour. I was waiting for the moment I could commentate with you. Yes, thank you for coming late notice. Next week, the great man, Rick James, is back, folks, with myself, Hungry, next week. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget, Tier 5, Tier 6, always the wildness of those tiers on Monday, and then we're back for the always interesting realistic series and Formula 2 on Thursday for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and then we're back with me and Finn for Tier 3. Thank you for joining us. We had a good about 45 people in watching it tonight, so thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.